So, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome all to a bright Saturday afternoon and a very wonderful reason for all of us to be here and to celebrate the success for CL Pune without wasting much time, because I'm sure all of you are waiting to talk to the achievers and the toppers. So I'll quickly hand over the details to a few of our guests. So we have Amitendra sir with us, who is the head of CL-LST Law and After 12th Division. So quickly over to you, Amitendra sir.
Thank you, Miraj. Thank you so much for calling me here in this session. On behalf of Career Launcher LST, I welcome all the students, the achievers, and the parents who are attending this session today. It's a day of celebration. It's a day of exchange of ideas. It's a day of learning. Once again, the LSTians, the young scholars, have made us proud by securing the top ranks in Clat, ILET, and other law entrances, including LSAT India. Malhar, Ashi, Navinder, Avishi, Rajas, Ashu, and Nilotpal. Here's a shout out to you. Congratulations for this wonderful feat. You are an example of grit and determination. You are an example of what self-belief is all about. You are an example about how dreams can be chased with proper planning and mentoring. To all the students attending this session today, be attentive all throughout the session. Listen to these young scholars, young achievers, talk about their journey of law entrance preparation. How did they achieve it? What is that they did in last 1 year, 2 years while they were preparing for these examinations? And you must also understand, they are very similar to us. They are no different. They are no aliens. They did something differently, of course, which they are going to talk about today. They'll be sharing their experiences with us. And I'm sure it's going to be a very insightful, very enriching journey for next 60 minutes. You are going to learn a lot about their journey to the law school, about the dream they had, which is very similar to you, and how did they go ahead and achieve that for themselves. I welcome all the parents attending this session today. And to all the parents, I would say, have a belief in your child. I'm sure you are supporting them. You are making them ready for the exams next year. They have the pressure of the board examination as well, because a lot of them would be in class 12 right now. But yes, they do have your support. And I do understand when a child prepares for an entrance examination, it's not just the child, but even the parents. You are also preparing along with him, actually. So hats off to you. And I welcome you to the session. I'm sure this session is going to as enrichful to you as to your ward. Miraj, over to you.
Thank you, sir. That was a very wonderful words from you. And definitely this is going to be an inspiring talk for our current 22 and 23 students. So we also have Lloyd sir with us, who is the director of Career Launcher Nagpur and Pune. So some words from you, Lloyd sir.
Congratulations to all of our toppers. It's great that it's a great achievement for CL Pune that we have close to 8 odd students who are below 500 rank, and all of them would be landing into great law schools. We had an interaction with almost all of these guys. The grit and determination that they have shown during their preparation phase is what led them to such an achievement. In fact, there were times when these guys felt that they could not make it. They fell down and they again rose back and again started running. Their persistence, their grit, their determination is what led them to such fantabulous results. So we'll hear them out. We'll directly hear from the horse's mouth as to how they achieved this huge feat and we'll try to understand how we can incorporate those things in our life to again repeat this feat. Over to you, Miraj sir.
Thank you, Lloyd sir. So, like Lloyd sir, we said we already had an one-to-one interview with Atharva. We had one with Mallar. Let me have some words with the others since we couldn't talk to them. So, how about we'll start with ladies first. Avishi, like one quick question which we started up with all of them. How do you feel such a massive, great achievement? What's that feeling inside you at the moment?
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, it is greater than I could have ever imagined. It is beyond words. I am so overwhelmed right now. And the day when I got my result, um, it is the moment you get your result, you actually realize that every hard work actually paid off. The nights that you pulled out and all nighters, and the extra work that you did, it was all nothing of it went in vain, and it was all so um, there was a lot of peace when I got my result. I actually realized that okay, it was not bad, and it was actually good. So it did not go in vain. Nothing was wasted, and I felt proud of myself. Feeling proud of myself was something that I was not very used to, and this was one of my biggest feats as of now. So yes.
And the hard work never goes in vain, Avishi. It has very well paid out for you. Um, I would आंसू नहीं निकले ना रिजल्ट वाले दिन
नहीं, थोड़े निकले, मम्मी पापा के
थोड़े
निकले.
निकले बनते भी है बेटा बनते भी है let me ask Rajesh. Rajesh was most probably who got it. ये feeling थी Rajesh?
Yes, sir, for sure. First of all, thanks a lot for inviting us on this platform. Uh, on the result date, actually, it was like 12:30 midnight, and I couldn't. The site wasn't loading, so I asked Athar to check my result, and he texted me that, "Bro, you got 94.25. You are IIR 320." Firstly, it was so surreal. I couldn't believe what I have done. uh, I thought he was pranking or something, but I couldn't believe it. It was simply amazing. And of course, tears of joy, celebration everywhere. And I felt content not with the result, but I felt satisfied with the preparation, or the thing that the fact that my preparation paid off more than the result.
Perfect, Rajesh. How was it for you, Suhanj?
So well, I didn't expect to get these great marks because I've studied only for 4 months. I joined CL like I think October, and I started studying for Clat I think in Feb or March because I was concentrating on my boards till then. Then they got cancelled. So I've been studying for only 4 months. I did not expect to get these marks, but let's go with what's happening.
In fact, you can be an inspiration for many out there who believe that who need a very long preparation. Probably you can tell them that people who haven't yet started, it's still time. You can still make it from now also, right?
Once you joined pretty late, uh, what was the point of time in your life that you decided to take up law, and why is it that you decided to take up law?
Okay, so it's an actually very hilarious story. So I wanted to do CA till 12th. I took maths in 11th and 12th in ISC board because I was like, I will do CA. Later, I realized the job of a CA is very boring because you have to sit in one place. So late one night, I was on a call with a friend of mine, and we were like, what will we do in life? Because we have nothing to do. And then we started looking up career options. I think this was in September. And we were like, chalo, we'll do law. And I didn't even know about Clat till then. Then we were like, fine, we'll do law. And the next morning, I told my mom, okay, I'll do law. 1 week later, it was October. She puts me in CL. I didn't understand anything. I was completely blank. I attend class. Avishi's there in class knowing everything. Nilotpa is there. Malhar is there arguing with the teachers. I am so lost over there. I have no idea what's happening in class. I'm like, fine, I will see what happens. And then I started studying for 12th board because ISC, I had to get good marks. Then 12th board got cancelled. I'm like, fine, let's finish all the books. In 4 months, I finished all the books that they had given us, the CL books. And I think I finished them in 3 months, but then Clat got postponed. Then the exam happened. But then CL helped a lot in preparation because everything that with the new books that came from CL, the questions were like that. The new pattern books that we had from CL, the questions were of that pattern and they were like that. So it was thanks to CL that I could do this in 4 months.
That's great. I mean, you cracked it in 4 months. It's a pretty big achievement. Malar, you there?
Yeah, sure.
Malar, for Suvansh, it was a very different reason why he took up law. What was that point of time in your life when you decided that you would take up law? And what was the reason? What was the specific reason you took up law?
Well, since a kid, I was really interested in public policy. Political science was one of my favorite subjects. But the decision to take up law um, was not until June of 2020, where one of my friends, a law student now, third year, she jokingly said that if you become a lawyer and if you just go into court and argue, you can make millions. Because I was arguing with a person who stole my copyrights and I knew nothing about the Copyright Act. I was just blabbering with the notes that she sent. And she said that you can know the way around the law and you can take up this field and pursue it. So I just, enrolled for CL because I was really bored in the lockdown as well. So it was a really engaging activity for me to do. And, things fell in place. I learned new things every day. And
So I you were Harvey Specter before all these things started.
no, that's a very unrealistic pedestal that a lot of people, put before them. I never aspired to be him. I don't aspire to be him right now as well, because it's uh, a symmetry that becoming Harvey Specter and in real life, the mismatch between expectation and reality. So yeah, I mean, I took up law because it's my hobby, not because somebody else's hobby. That
That's really great. That's really great. Avishi,
yeah.
do you have a similar story for yourself as to why you took up law?
Well, taking up law for me was not actually, it happened overnight or something. It was not that. When I was in 10th standard, before my 10th standard boards, I was just planning ki abhi okay, 10th standard hone wala hai. I should probably start thinking of a career option based on which I should take a stream in my 11th and 12th. And I started feeling that law is, as a profession, a very intriguing profession. Just like Swanch said, that professions like CA and all, they ask you to sit in one place and do a similar job throughout your life. I felt that law, probably some streams do require you to sit in one place and do a particular job, but it is definitely filled with a lot of surprises and a lot of action, I'd say. So that was my idea. I wanted to do a job which would probably which I can groom myself into, and which would also give me a lot of thrill throughout my life. So that was the idea. It was in 10th
Great.
standard that I came up with it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Malar, since you are our topper, we would like to understand from you whether there was at any point of time that you felt that you won't be able to make it, that you should give up on this journey. And if you felt so, then what was it that inspired you to come back in the game?
Well, I personally have believed since I started my preparation that, feeling low and feeling that you might not make it is an inherent part of your preparation. So if any guy says that I haven't been down any day of my preparation, that's an unrealistic notion to harbor. So it's perfectly normal to not wanting to do anything and to have stagnant mock scores for a while, because I was experiencing that quite a lot as early as July 4th, this July 4th.
And I basically, the approach was at the very end was a total indifference to the outcome, because as everybody should internalize that this is not a life and death question, and this is something that you should vindicate your own effort. It's a very personal question, and doesn't matter what your friends are doing. You have made honest efforts. Just show up on the D-Day and just translate your efforts into the paper, and have an indifference to the outcome, because that's the best part of it. Because I never really obsessed over Bangalore, and I am sitting in Bangalore right now. I mean, the university. So I mean, it's not like you have to deify the entire thing and then only you will get. You have to have a very cool mindset about it and just prepare honestly and with interest. So I mean, I
Wonderful.
guess
So you've got to pick up yourself every day, be persistent with it, and go about the journey.
exactly,
Not worry about the outcome. Yeah.
exactly, absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. I have a question for you. Athar,
Hi, sir.
I same question to you. At any point of time in your journey, did you feel that you won't be able to make it? Did you feel that you should give it up? And then how did you bounce back?
Yeah, sir. It did happen many times with me also.
Hmm.
And as Malhar said, for me, interest played a huge part in it. So there was like there's a mock which you couldn't do it well. The percentile is very low. It used to happen. My sectional tests were going bad in between. It used to happen, but interest plays a huge role in yours. Like whole. अगर तुमको जो interest है, if you're doing that, you can't get bored, and you definitely can't be depressed with what you're getting with that. So GK was my strong subject, and I had interest in all of those things. I used to like more than revising, I used to learn more and more and more. So any day I felt like giving up, I used to throw everything and do GK.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, and those setbacks are definitely one thing that should be there in your prep.
Hmm.
They should be there to give you a hard reality of what is going on.
Hmm.
You should know of where you are.
Hmm.
You'll strategize again and plan over it and work on it again.
Wonderful, wonderful. So never give it up. You there would be times when you feel down, but you have got to take it up, pick it up, and then move on. That's what Athar wants to say. Fair enough, fair
Yes.
enough. So Nilotpal, beta all India rank 470, how does it feel?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're audible.
yeah. So, I mean, it feels very empowering because when we first started out studying law at CL or having the idea of law in our mind, there was a broader, ambition of being part of this whole process of justice and truth and all of that. And CLAT and getting into an NLU being the first step. So when you fulfill this first step, when you cross the bridge with AIR 470, it feels very empowering. And to sit here with other achievers who are my friends, who are family as well, it is just it's over the clouds.
Wonderful. What was the most difficult section in CLAT for you, and how did you go about cracking it, or how did you go about preparing for it?
I think while preparation, the most difficult question was logical, no doubt, because in logical, everywhere you see the question, they tell you to tick mark the most appropriate answer. So at all points, almost in 99% of questions, there are going to be two answers which are correct, but they don't want
You're talking about verbal logic, right? You're talking about
verbal
verbal logic.
Yeah, verbal logic. So at any given point, there will be two answers which will be correct. We want the most correct answer.
Most appropriate answer.
Yes. So that was slightly difficult for me, but during actual CLAT, I think it completely changed. The most difficult section for me became GK. And the only thing you can do while solving GK when it comes hard is apply common sense. So I think an entire passage which consists of 5 questions, it was about the Chabahar port in Iran. All of it was common sense. All 5 marks I got, and it was just that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Rajesh, come again. Yes, a bit audible.
Yeah.
Just tell us something about your study plan, how you studied, how did you go about studying?
Well, my study plan was pretty basic. I used to make a to-do list for the day. When I woke up, I decided that I had to read the Hindu for like an hour or 1.5 hours. Next, I had
In Hindu, was there any specific page, was there any specific section that you always focused on?
Of course, the editorials are very important. I read
So
about
for the other students, just a moment, Rajas. For the other students, in Hindu you have a section called as OPED, OP-ED. And there are a lot of articles inside that, which covers national, international, political, and other spheres. Rajas is talking about that, isn't it, Rajas?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Even the
Go on.
editorials, I read about 3 to 4 editorials every day. And of course, the international section of the Hindu and the explained sections. Uh, those were pretty vital from the view of Clat preparation, because as we know, the Clat pattern is now comprehension based, right?
Hmm.
So we need to understand the topic thoroughly from the base, and the explained sections and even the editorials include historical facts, historical background, and the entire analysis about the particular topic. So that definitely helps us to create our perspective, and also the analytics about a particular topic. So the Hindu was like the most vital part of my study plan. It helped me a lot for sure. Next, I used to log on to aspiration.ai. That's the Bible. That was our Bible, and I read the daily news which they uploaded.
Can you elaborate on how aspiration.ai should be used? How you should go about it? Because there are a lot of sections, hai na? And if you utilize them really well, then you will be able to get the maximum dividend. So can you just elaborate on that?
Right. Firstly, the when we start our course, like for if the course is for 1 year, they give the schedule. So we do have the mock schedule with us. First, we go through with the topic tests to secure our basics and the basic topics. Like we have topic tests segregated according to criminal law, constitutional law, legal knowledge. So we should make it sure that we have to cover all these basic bases first, and then go on to solve sectional tests and mocks. Uh, Mocks in the initial stages don't really matter. They just give us the perspective of what is expected out of us. So at first when we clear the topic tests and sectional tests one by one, then we are capable of giving the mocks. So and the mocks are pretty much based on the pattern of sectional tests. Even CL has also uploaded the new pattern of sectional tests, which is of course comprehension based, and we can get logical passages, the critical reasoning ones. The critical reasoning passages given by CL were a bit tougher than what we expected, or
What
than
actually came?
the consortium gives.
Hmm.
So it helped us uh, prepare a higher level of passages, and the Clat passages were like a piece of cake for us. Like I scored around 26, 20, 25, 26 in logical, whereas I used to score around just around 15 in the CL mocks. So the CL mocks helped us to prepare tougher passages, and we were uh, and the easy passages were just easy for us.
CL
Next,
offers the largest number of mocks. CL offers the largest number of mocks in the country. So there are almost more than 70 plus odd mocks that you can write. So how many of them did you write?
around 62, 63.
Wonderful. That's really wonderful. So actually, the actual exam must have been the 63rd mock for you, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Great. So
And
that's what happens if you practice. If you keep on practicing mocks, the actual exam feels like a mock, and the pressure of straddling between sections, as well as the pressure of solving the questions, gets reduced to a great extent because you've already done it. You've already practiced it in a similar fashion. And let's say if the paper is a bit easier as compared to what you've done in mocks, probably the confidence increases, and that confidence uh, fetches you 3-4 marks extra, isn't it? Because the flow, you get into the flow, isn't it? Great. So, Malar, over to you. What was your strategy during the exam? How did you approach the exam? How did you straddle among sections, between sections?
Well, I guess the baseline premise that I accepted that I enjoyed the exam, first of all, because earlier in my preparation, I used to stress out quite a lot, because when you prepare for CLAT, right, there is no syllabus and there is no exhaustive syllabus. there is anything and everything under the sun that you can prepare and that can come, especially when it comes to GK and some concepts of legal reasoning as well. So at the end of the preparation, what I did was I really restricted the scope of my preparation, because that is really important for any aspirant, that when you prepare aimlessly, that makes you lose your sanity, which is a very dangerous thing right before your exam. So I remember it was July, the month of July, I think first or second week of July. And I was just very leisurely just going through the consortium website. Okay. And I came across one thing that I didn't even know about since the last 10 months of my preparation, which were the sample papers that they uploaded. There are, I think, 3 to 4 sample papers that consortium uploaded last year that I had absolutely no idea about. So I just went through the sample papers, and what is more significant about the sample papers is that their source recommendations. So if you go in the consortium website, you will see a section called sample papers and their own recommendations. So what Clat does is it gives you books and sources. And Clat tells you that you have to go and read this book. For example, there is this book, How to Think Like a Lawyer by Oxford Publications, and so many other books. So what it does is that it makes your mindset as to how to write that exam. And unfortunately, I came across all of this in July of 2021. So I didn't have time to read those. So what I did was I just solved those sample papers at the very fag end of my preparation. So all the aspirants sitting here of 2022 and 2023, the first thing they ought to do, in my opinion, is to read all the books that CLAT recommends them to read. There is also one very good book, is the essays about the practical things in life. It's a management book. It's a very practical book that CLAT recommends you to read, and they put the passages from these books in their mocks. So even if you look at this paper, 2021 paper, the passages were very similar to the material that they recommended. So I would suggest you that please keep your preparation scope very nuanced and very restricted to what is only required. Please don't go roaming around doing anything and everything that's required. I think your mentors at CL would, guide you in that direction. And please seek help, because that is extremely important. And that brings me to my next point, is having a study buddy. Because Atharva sitting here would testify to that. That Atharva and I, we used to probably call like every day, and we still do. Really good friends we became in the preparation itself. That I was doing really bad at GK, and Atharva is a GK fanatic. I mean, you ask him anything right now, he'll be able to tell you. I mean, he's a very good study buddy. So please make study buddies while in your preparation, because that not only helps augment your preparation, but it also helps you look forward to studying. That's really important, because you get excited to tell somebody else that I did this today, and these are my weekly targets, and sharing is really important. Yeah. So I guess that's it.
Wonderful. Can you elaborate about mocks? What is the importance of mocks, and why should a person give mocks?
Right. So, as I said before in another interview as well, mocks are like shadow practice of cricket, and the more you do it, the more you're prepared for the D-Day. Right. So, I guess being scared about mocks is a phobia that needs a remedy at the very outset, because there are a lot of students who are scared of mocks. So, I mean, enjoy them as a very interactive process, because it's a challenge that you set your personal best every time you give a mock, and that itself is a very interesting process to subject yourself to. uh, and well, don't riddle yourself with too many mocks at the same time as well, because I've seen people who give like 2 3 mocks during the day, which is
Not
detrimental to your
recommended.
mental health. Please don't do
Yes.
that. Your mentors would guide you 1 or 2 mocks per week at the beginning, and then later on you can increase the frequency. Keep the pace comfortable as per your own liking and requirement, and keep yourself in the loop. That's what I would say.
Great, great, great. That's great. Ashi, so Ashi has got a call from Symbiosis.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ashi, yesterday we did a mock interview. So you are definitely going to get selected. There's no iota of doubt about it. I would like to understand from you your how did CL help you in your journey to reach there?
I'm sorry, do you mean for the symbiosis or chat?
And in general, just tell us about your journey with CL.
I would actually like to say that as Malhar keeps mentioning, the mentors are really important. Like you have to reach out to somebody that you can trust, that you feel that they will be helpful in your preparation, and you have to keep in constant contact with them. You have to take their guidance, and CL really provided me that with Miraj sir first, yeah, CL was really helpful in the part where they helped me structure my studying. They helped me structure my journey. If I wasn't sure that I should be referring this, or at this point if I should be going towards all of the things that I want, that as far as my peers were going towards, I realized that I didn't have to stretch myself that much, and I could just stick to whatever my mentor is guiding me, because they are in fact knowledgeable about it, and they would be guiding me in the correct direction.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So how did CL help you in your journey? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, to be honest, when I started with this dream of becoming a lawyer, and everyone around me, aspirants, non-aspirants, everyone knew that okay, you have 5 subjects that you have in your clat, and you have to clear them. This is so and so is the cutoff and everything. Those basics are, I think, everyone knows them. But as Ashi and Malhar, both of them said that despite of knowing everything, you have to first structure your preparation. You can't just mindlessly go studying whatever subject you want to. And mentors again played a very important role, and I would actually like to mention 2 of them that were in my journey of CL. They helped me not only structure my day and understand understand how to strategize for the exam, but they gave me insights that would helped me throughout my life. For example, I say that our GK teacher, Kunal sir, actually, he taught us how to manifest our dreams, if that makes sense. Because I felt very low. There were times when my scores were stagnant completely, not increasing at all. In fact, there were times when score was decreasing, and I felt horrible. I called him up, and he said that, listen, everyone goes through the same thing. It is all a part and parcel of preparation. And if you try to keep on telling yourself that it will happen, you try to create a positive vibe around you, it will definitely happen. I know it might sound absurd at this particular point of time when you just try to believe that ha hoga hoga hoga, but at the back of your mind you're like, "Arey kaise hoga? I'm scoring this and that." But trust me, guys, it actually helps you get filled with that positive vibe, and on the day of the exam, some sort of magical confidence gets surrounded by you, and you are actually doing great in your exam without even realizing it. When I was writing the exam, I had no idea how much I would be able to score. Even after I came back home and tried checking my score, I was extremely scared. In fact, I don't exactly know what word to use, but it was some superlative degree of being scared. I didn't even check my score for, I think, 2 days or so. Then I was speaking to Nilotpal actually, and he said that, check your score, you'll feel better, the stress would go and all. And that was the process. Also, mentors, again, I can't emphasize enough on them, because they were so crucial in the entire process. They actually taught me that these competitive exams, they're more about testing your willpower, your consistency, than your knowledge. So that was about it. Yeah.
Interesting. Fair enough. Fair enough. Atharv, yeah, Atharv, any tips for all these students that we have around us?
Yeah, sir. One general mistake I saw everyone making during my prep was the first thing was the GK sources ka thing. So they used to roam around till the end of the prep. So I saw people in May asking for sources. So going around like that and asking about what to do, what is a sure shot approach for GK. I would suggest that take a month or two, finalize your sources right now, see what happens. And the most important thing is don't go to IS websites, please. And yeah, this is not an IS exam for that. The thing is, it is very unpredictable. If you want to give the CLAT 2020 paper, an IS website will help. If you want to give 2021 paper, Manthans will help. So I would suggest is months, the weekly ones and monthly ones, you keep doing it for GK. Read two newspapers, and one more recommended thing for GK is the explained sections of the Indian Express. Very good section. I would recommend that. Limit your Telegram groups. Yeah, keep a good company around you. Yeah, that would be it.
That out of the passages that came in GK, 50% of them, not 50%, I would rather say 30 to 35% of them were from Hindu, and 2 to 3 were from Indian Express. So both the newspapers are very essential, and all of the toppers used to read it frequently. And Manthan, if done consistently, as Athar said, would fetch you a lot of dividends. So that's great. Nice suggestion, Athar. Nice suggestion to all of our students. So Miraj sir was mentor for a lot of guys. Miraj sir has been guiding them throughout. Miraj sir, what would you like to add?
Well, I am pretty happy that I am again able to see all of them smile, because most of the time when I used to see them, I used to see them with a scared face. Ab kya hoga karke. At least I'm able to see all of them smile now.
Yeah, kindly shoot.
Sir, I would like to ask a question.
Yes.
So
Yeah, yeah, Shruti, go ahead.
I would like to ask the achievers that what is the daily number of hours we should ideally put into our study time right from this month of our preparation. I am a 2022 student. So what is the ideal time?
We will direct this question to who would like to take it up? Suvansh. Before Suvansh adds his perspective, Shruti, see, it is not about the number of hours. It is about being consistent. है ना? Let's say even if you keep on putting 8 hours every day, you'll burn yourself out in a month or two. But let's say if you study for 2 hours every day, if you be consistent every day, that would fetch you dividends. So Suvansh, yeah, you add
Okay,
what
so
perspective you
just
have.
as Sir said, it's not about the number of hours you put in every day. If you're studying for 8 hours a day, by the end of the 8 hours, you'll be exhausted. Whatever subject you're doing at the end, nothing will go inside your head. So instead of that, at least what I used to do is, at least in the last month, wake up early, do whatever you can in the morning, take a break, then do something again, take a break. Taking breaks is very important because you can't go on studying for 2 hours continuously. You won't have anything inside your brain by the end of it. I think everyone will agree that taking breaks is important. Take well timed breaks and don't extend your breaks. Take a short break, get back to studying. Don't count the number of hours you're doing, count the number of topics you're doing in a day, because counting the number of hours won't get you anywhere. The paper is a 2 hour game, and you need to do as many topics as you can instead of doing how many hours you can put in. It's not a corporate job over here.
Wonderfully put, Suhansh. Malar, would you like to add something to this about the number of hours you need to put?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as once very succinctly put, I think it's about the topics, and the only thing that matters is the excellence in each topic. So if you ace each topic to the best of your ability, then I mean, in the exam, you'd be able to score the highest, because excellence is really important when it comes to very nuanced topics, be it analytical reasoning topics or critical reasoning topics or anything of the like. And as Swan said, please keep it spaced out, take breaks, and be chill, because it's really important in your preparation. And I think I saw a question about how to improve your English. So, sir, if I may take that.
Yes. Sure.
Okay, so I'll show you this book. So this is a book by Norman Lewis, right? This is a Bible for English. I was preparing for ALET from this very book. So what this book does, it's like a 700-page book, quite a voluminous thing, but such an interesting book. It not only gives you a very insightful insight into the vocabulary. It's like it's in a story format. So you fall in love with words by reading this book, and by virtue of that, you fall in love with the English language. And it's really important when you give Clat that you love the English language, because it's basically the entire game. And one thing I would suggest more is that please read as many books as you can during the preparation, because right now in law school, my law school started like last week, and right now I'm realizing how important the reading habit is, because I tell you right now I have to read around 400 or 500 pages on an average every day, be it judgments, be it completing my term papers, be it submissions, and my hobby, my own personal reading as well. So the 2 year students right now of the 2023 batch, I guess you can utilize your first year in a very substantial amount is by institutionalizing this habit of reading, which could pay you immense dividends, especially when you're in Bangalore, and I hope you will be.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do we need to make notes for GK from newspaper? Who would like to answer this?
See, yeah, Nurotpal, you go for this. What I would suggest is you should, that's a good habit in the initial days. But all of those things get compressed in Manthan. In a compressed form, you will get it at the end of the month. And Manthan is a summary of all that you get in the newspaper. But since you've got to develop the reading habit, so read Hindu, read the Indian Express, summarize it, put it in a book, and that would really help. Yeah, Nilotpal, आप बताना चाहते हो, बताइए.
Yes, sir. Actually, the thing with handwritten notes about any subject, not just GK, is that not that it becomes the most credible material towards the end, but actually it's a register or a rather track record of what you have done. So in the last 6 months, it takes around 2 hours to completely read, analyze, understand the Hindu paper. And if you start making notes of those things, then 6 to 8 hours easily you can say goodbye to them, because it's very exhaustive in that sense. So if you want to make handwritten notes about from the newspaper and you have sufficient time, let's say 2 years or 1 year, make sure that you write the headlines, the important headlines, or at the most 2 lines about each topic, so that after 6 months or after every month you do the monthly revision, you know what you want to read about. And if you don't recollect something, you can obviously log on to aspirants and you can read the Manthan and you can read the topic wise analysis. So more than a material sort of thing, it's a track record. I mean, and it's also a good habit. My Clat is over, my IELTS is over, my everything is over. I still have my newspaper and my GK notebook with me. I'm still making it today. I made it today for no reason whatsoever. Well, it's a good habit to have.
Great to hear that. So basically, you have to put an effort. You have got to summarize things. You have got to read things. How did the achievers feel after the first mocks? Yeah, Rajesh.
Actually, the score of my first walk was, I remember, some 53. And it was obviously very disheartening to see my seniors score more than 80, 85, and I being stuck at 52. So, the key, as I said, is not being the initial mocks are just for us to know where we are, and for us to know what we have to do. They don't exactly tell us where we stand. So in the subsequent mocks, once you're like 6 months away from the actual exam, they these mocks eh, give us the exact information of where we stand. So the initial mocks don't really matter in terms of, well, what are we doing, or the percentile doesn't really matter. Even in the last mock which I gave on 20th July 2021, 3 days before the actual exam, my percentile was literally 80%, 80 percentile. So the key is obviously not getting disheartened, and like my rank was some 230-ish on 20th July. But you never know what is going to happen on the exact day, how we are. Even our mood plays a very important role. Our mood, our mindset during the examination. And Kunal sir especially helped a lot to improve our mindset, and as Avishi said, to manifest our goals and uh, take the exam in the right spirit.
Wonderful. Just to sum it up, it is all about being consistent with your effort till the end. If you are consistent with your effort, then it would manifest in a great result. since we are running out of time, I would like Miraj sir to sum it up. And if you all have 1 second, Miraj sir, I'll just like to take one last question. This is an interesting question. How do you decide sequence of sections in exam? Samarth Gosavi has asked, how do you decide the sequence of sections in exam? Who would like to take it up? कौन सा section पहले करना, कौन सा सेक्शन बाद में करना? बहुत सारे लोग हैं. चलो सुवांश और मल्हार आप दोनों बताइए. पहले सुवांश बताओ और फिर मल्हार से भी सुनते हैं.
Okay, so this is what Kunal sir taught us. When you're doing mocks, try everything. Give whichever section you want to go first. Mocks are for practice. It doesn't matter if you score less in mocks. Try every pattern. See which pattern works best for you, and it actually works. Because I tried this in a mock. One mock I gave it in one particular pattern. I scored in 70s. The next mock I gave it another pattern. I scored in 90s. So the sequence in which you're giving a mock matters a lot, because if you give a good section, if you give your strongest section first, you are confident, then even the bad section will go well. But if you give a section that you are bad at, your confidence takes a hit right then and there, and then even if you are good at a section, you'll feel that you'll keep doubting yourself. So if you want a short answer, start with your strongest section and climb down the ladder. But obviously, if you have time, you have another year to practice, try everything. Try each and every sequence that there is, so you know what works best for you.
Fair enough. Mala?
Yeah, as Swanj raised a very good point, is that leave no stone unturned. Try every permutation and combination there is, because you have a lot of time before you, 1 year and 2 year respectively for the students here. But one very vital point that I would like to share with you is that, there is a lot of confusion, especially towards the end, as to what you should finalize as your section, because you should sanctify something for the D-Day. And there are a lot of people who go 2 days before the exam asking around what is the right order. This is a very personal question that you have to decide for yourself. Nobody else is going to give you a template, because I remember my sequence was that I used to do GK first, because GK helped me to really phase into the paper, and I didn't have to think much about GK because it was a factual thing. So after GK, I used to do English. After English, I used to do legal. After legal, I used to just squeeze in math in the between, and the last section I used to do is logic. So I remember having a conversation with Atharva the night before Clat, the eve of Clat, that I was really apprehensive about keeping logic last, because the last mock I gave, like just before Clat, I didn't have time to solve logic. And we were just discussing as to whether I should change my section, because logic tends to be a little tricky. But then fortunately I stood my ground. I did not make any change in my sequence, and that gave me a dual dividends, because logic I scored very high in. And so that's it. I mean, please keep your section to yourself, and don't change it at the last moment. And also one more thing, sir, one small thing is that I made very silly mistakes in my paper, because I knew the right answer. I circled the wrong circles in the OMR sheet, and I made 2-3 mistakes, so I lost 2-3 marks because of that. So I could have easily gotten 107, 108 had I not made these silly inadvertent errors. So while giving mocks at home, please make sure that you're circling the right circles in the OMR sheet, because you don't want to lose marks out on that. So
So
please
let's
focus
say
on
let's
these
say
small
if
things.
it's about circling,
Yeah.
should we let's say pick up a question and then circle, or pick up 5 questions and then circle them together? What is it that
No. You have to do one question, immediately circle.
circle?
Do not wait for 5 questions, because that's very disastrous. Just do it immediately right then and there, because as you might have noticed, there were a lot of cases where people ticked on the question paper, which Clat doesn't allow you to do. You have to tick immediately in the OMR circle after you're done with the question. So develop a habit from now itself. So yeah.
Fair enough. Great. Miraj sir, any closing statements?
For the achievers, definitely, this is not the end. Like I told a couple of you all in your personal interviews, also, this is just the beginning, and sky is the limit for you all. And you all are the ones who should be like tomorrow when we look at it. Oh yes, this is the Avishi, this is the Malari. No, and that pride which we feel is impeccable. There's no explanation for it. So all the best for all the achievers. And as far as the 22 and 23 students are concerned, game is on. We have to work a lot, especially the immediate ones, the 22 ones.
So great, guys. You all made it to the hallowed portals of the greatest law schools of India. And you all are the inspiration to all of these guys who are there along with us. Uh, Great future ahead. We all know that you all would do great in life. And all the best. All the best. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for guiding our students. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All the best.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.